Good morning, children. Welcome to this session of mine where I'll be reading and explaining you the chapter A Letter from a Father to His Daughter. This letter was written by the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, to his daughter, little Indira. Every father wishes to pass on the knowledge he has to his kids. Not just the understanding of how the world works, but also the wisdom he has been able to gather by studying, reading, and understanding. In 1928, Jawaharlal Nehru was put in Naini prison in Allahabad during India's freedom struggle. His daughter, little Indira, was just 10 years old then. With the physical distance between him and his young daughter, it was difficult for him to share his ideas with her. So, Nehru used to write letters to his daughter Indira. His letters never talked in a manner of emotions, but more so concentrated on the workings of the world. He made sure that he could be a good father even with all the distance. In a letter, Nehru said to his daughter, "What present can I send you from Naini prison? My presents cannot be very material or solid. They can be of the mind and spirit." And he lived up to his words by presenting her with the most informative letters a 10-year-old needs in order to navigate life and gain knowledge of the worldly affairs. Before reading the chapter, let us understand the meanings of a few words which you would come across in the chapter. They are prison, jail, mysterious, strange, suggestion, proposal, a hint, eager, anxious, suffer, bear hardships, fortunate, lucky, honor, high respect, desire, wish, unworthy, not deserving. Now let us read the chapter. Long back in 1930, when the British ruled over India, many of our leaders were in jails. Jawaharlal Nehru was in the Naini prison at that time. It was then that he wrote this letter to his daughter Indira on her 13th birthday. My dear Indira, on your birthday, you have been in a habit of receiving presents and good wishes. Good wishes you will still have in full measure. But what present can I send you from the Naini prison? My presents cannot be very material or solid. They can be of the mind and spirit. Things that even the high walls of this prison cannot stop. He writes, "You know, sweetheart, how I dislike sermonizing and doling out good advice. I have always thought that the best way to find out what is right and what is not right, what should be done and what should not be done, is not by giving a sermon, but by talking and discussing about it. Out of the discussion, sometimes a little bit of truth comes out. I have liked my talks with you and we have discussed many things. But the world is wide, and beyond our world lie other wonderful and mysterious worlds. None of us need to be ever bored or imagine that we have learnt everything worth learning and become very wise. But what am I to do then? A letter can hardly take the place of a talk. At best, it is a one-sided affair. Imagine that I have made a suggestion to you to think over as if we were really having a talk." Children, Jawaharlal Nehru had written this letter to his daughter Indira on her 13th birthday. He was then at the Naini prison. In his letter, he reminds her of the birthday celebrations of yesteryears where she used to receive a lot of good wishes and presents. He further says that all he can shower on her now is only good wishes. Through his letter, he passes on the knowledge and the understanding of the world which even the high walls of the prison cannot stop. Here, he tells her about his dislike towards sermonizing because he feels that sermonizing can never solve an issue. He feels that talks and discussions are the best ways to sort out issues. He also tells her that one should never feel that he or she has learned everything worth learning in this world and has become a wise person, because beyond our world there are many other unknown and mysterious worlds which we are yet to learn about. She continues reading the letter. In history, we read of great periods in the life of nations, of great men and women. Do you remember how fascinated you were when you first read the story of Joan of Arc and how your ambition was to be something like her? Ordinary men and women are usually not heroic. They think of their bread and butter, of their children, of their household worries and the like. But a time comes when a whole lot of people become interested in a great cause. Then history helps even the simple and the ordinary men and women to become heroes. Through his letters, Jawaharlal Nehru arouses a feeling of concern for the people in her. He inspires her to learn from the lives of great men and women. He explains that these great men and women lived very simple lives, but were empathetic towards the poor people. Being empathetic means having the ability to share and understand others' feelings. And this empathy led them to greater heights. They joined hands for this noble cause. They helped the poor and the needy lead a free and happy life, and thus imprinted their names in the hearts of many. She continues reading. Great leaders have something in them which inspires a whole lot of people and makes them do great deeds. In India, a great leader full of love for all who suffer and is always eager to help them has inspired our people to great actions and noble sacrifices. He has helped to make the starving, the poor and the oppressed free and happy. Through his letter, Jawaharlal Nehru tells little Indira about the great achievements of Gandhiji and how he lived in the hearts of millions of Indians and was respected by all. He also tells her about how Gandhiji strived to promote unity and literacy among the people for the development of our great nation. She continues reading the letter. Bapuji is in prison, but the magic of his message has stolen the hearts of India's millions. Men and women and even little children come out of their little shells and become India's soldiers of freedom. In India today, we are making history, and you and I are fortunate to see this happening before our eyes and to take part ourselves in this great drama. Here, Jawaharlal Nehru tells Indira how Bapuji lived in the hearts of millions of people through his deeds. He moved the people with his sincerity and sacrifice. At his one command, they were ready to lay down their lives for the freedom of the country from foreign powers. He also tells her that we are fortunate enough to be born in this era to see all this and get inspired and be a part of the freedom struggle. She continues reading the letter. What part shall we play in it? If we are to be India's soldiers, we have to respect India's honor, and that honor is a sacred trust. It is no easy matter to decide what is right and what is not. one little test I shall ask you to apply whenever you are in doubt. Never do anything in secret or anything that you would wish to hide, for the desire to hide anything means that you are afraid, and fear is a bad thing and unworthy of you. Be brave, and all the rest follows. Here, Jawaharlal Nehru inspires Indira to play her part for the upliftment of the country. He says, all we need to do is to respect India's honor. He tells her to abide by the Gandhian principles and to lead a life of truthfulness, never to be secretive about anything, because secrecy creates fear, and fear is a bad thing because it weakens our whole being. He asks her to be crystal clear in all her works so that there's no room for any kind of doubt. She continues reading the letter. You know that in our great freedom movement under Bapuji's leadership, there is no room for secrecy or hiding. We are not afraid of what we do or what we say. We work in the sun and the light. Even so, in our private lives, let us make friends with the sun and work in the light and do nothing secretly. And if you do so, my dear, you will grow up to be the child of the light, unafraid and serene and unruffled, whatever may happen. I have written a very long letter to you, and yet there is so much I would like to tell you. How can a letter contain it? Goodbye, little one, and may you grow up into a brave soldier in India's service. With all my love and good wishes, your loving father, Jawaharlal Nehru. Here, Jawaharlal Nehru tells Indira about the life and leadership of Gandhiji, which had no room for secrecy. And that is what stole the hearts of millions of Indians, for they knew he lived for them. They also knew he dreamt of a free India. They were ready to do anything for him. He advises her to lead such a life where no doubt prevails. He winds up his letter with blessings and aspirations to see her as a brave soldier in India's service.